We're focusing on your woods, and your answers tell us you have what we would call a classic slice. So the ball starts straight or to the left of target and then curves too far to the right through the air. You've also told us that your preference would be to learn how to start the ball more on target and have a straighter ball flight. So your slice is caused by an out to in swing path, where the club head is moving to the left of target through impact. You also have an open club face. When the club face points to the right of the direction of the swing, the ball curves to the right through the air. Now for your neutral shot, we need to change both of these. We need a neutral swing path, which would be the club head moving towards the target through impact. And we also need a square face. When you get the club face pointing in the same direction as the club head is travelling, you get a straight ball flight. So to begin with, we're going to look at the swing path. We have a stick on the ground to help us out, and we're going to use this as a reference. It's lined up just outside the toes of my feet, and it's parallel to the target line. And what we'd like to notice is if I was to take the club to the top and bring it down angled outward in relation to that stick, the more it's angled outward, the more likely and the more severely I would be swinging from out to in across the target line. On the other hand, if I was to bring the club down angled inward in relation to the stick, I would be more likely to be swinging from in to out. Now for a neutral swing path, of course a neutral downswing would be preferable. And a neutral downswing would see the club moving through this area parallel to the target line. So your first move on the way down is to learn the feel of bringing the club down so that the shaft is parallel to our target line, or basically on top of this stick. Once we have our neutral downswing, we now release the club at the ball. A neutral release will have the club head approach impact from slightly inside the target line, but the club head is moving around us on an arc, and this curved path is going to get the club head around to straight for impact. After impact, the club head will move off the target line back to the inside. But the key difference from this path to yours is the approach. The club head has to approach impact from inside the target line and not outside. So this is our main feeling. Our two moves are up to the top and down to our neutral delivery position. And then secondly is to release the club out towards the ball. And it's this outward motion that's the main one to focus on. Now of course we need to add a square club face, and it's important to understand what the club face does throughout the swing. From setup to the top of the swing there is a lot of opening, and that means the club is being rotated around its shaft and the toe of the club is moved back away from the target, which is of course an opening of the face. During the downswing, our job is to return this face back to square. So we need to reverse the rotation of the club, we need to twist it around its shaft in the opposite direction to get the face to where we want it. If we use our delivery position again as a reference, taking the club up, bringing it down and pausing it, from here, if we add this twist that rotates the club around its shaft, what you'll see is the face starts to rotate more and more down towards the ground. This is taking the club from open towards square. So the twisting of the grip can be started from the top, and we can have quite a lot of this job done by the time we get to this delivery position. However, at this point the club face is still open, so the job isn't finished. From here we still have some work to do. If I bring this down and I have no twisting of my hand at all, which means no twisting of the grip, the face will come into impact open. So from here to impact, there is still quite a lot of rotation needed. If we take the logo of the glove as the reference, the glove is pointing ahead of me, and if I keep it pointing ahead of me, the face stays open. However, if I rotate the logo of the glove back towards the target, doing this with a club in your hands, you'll see that the face matches the rotation of the hand. So getting the logo of the glove to rotate back towards the target will get the club face to match. So from here we go set up, up to the top, down to our delivery, and hopefully we've already felt a little bit of this twisting. So the idea would be get the face to point down towards the ground a little bit by the time you get to here, and then the next move is to get the logo of the glove to rotate towards the target for impact. If we can get those two moves separately, let's try and blend them together and allow the swing to flow more. So step away from the ball and make a downswing with a little bit more flow, where you're trying to include this twist of the club to face it down at the ground, twist into impact to get the logo of the glove towards the target, and then release through to a full finish. Once you can do this as a full swing that's flowing as it would normally, it's time to hit some shots. The golf ball will tell you whether you've done these elements correctly or not. So again, up to the top, we've got a neutral downswing where we've started the closing of the face. We've got an approach where the club comes from the inside and the rotation of the club is continued into impact to square the face. So we have an approach from the inside and a closing face. If we can get those two moves, we'll be able to hit straight shots.